JBN, we keep you informed. 5 guns, 75 rounds of ammo seized in 24 hours. 5 illegal guns and a total of 75 assorted rounds of ammunition were seized by the police in the last 24 hours. The police say 7 persons have been taken into custody in connection with the guns and ammunition which were seized during operations in St. James, Westmoreland, Trelawney, Portland, St. Thomas, and St. Catherine. One of the guns, an AK-47 rifle, along with 2 rounds of ammunition, was seized during what the police described as a targeted operation in Paradise Road District, St. James, on Friday. According to the police, 2 Taurus 9mm pistols, one with 18 rounds of ammunition and the other loaded with 15 bullets, were seized in Westmoreland and Trelawney on Friday. In Westmoreland, the police say a team was on patrol along the Frome Main Road on a motorcycle without registration plate, and the 2 men aboard was signaled to stop. It's reported that the driver sped off before the motorcycle crashed into a bicycle. The police say a Taurus 9mm pistol with 18 rounds of ammunition was seen along the roadway beside one of the men and was seized. One of the men escaped and the other was arrested. In Trelawney, the police report that a Taurus pistol with 15 rounds of ammunition was seized during a stop-and-search operation in Zion District. 5 men were taken into custody. The other 2 weapons, a Glock pistol with 22 rounds of ammunition and a .380 pistol with 2 rounds, were seized in St. Catherine and St. Thomas between Friday evening and early Saturday morning. One 9mm Glock pistol, along with 22.40 cartridges, was seized during a patrol on Palmetto Avenue. The police reports that members of a patrol team saw a group of men along Palmetto Avenue in Bridgeport acting in a manner that arose their suspicion. It's reported that during a search, the Glock and the 12 rounds of ammunition was found on one of the men. A secondary operation was carried out at premises linked to the man, when an additional 10 rounds of ammunition were found, the police said. The man, 23-year-old truck driver Terrence Thomas, was arrested and charged. In St. Thomas, the police report that a .380 pistol with a magazine containing 2 rounds of ammunition was seized during an intelligence-led operation on Seaview Garden Drive in License. Cops captured 2 of Clarendon's most wanted. Police say they have arrested 2 men who were on the Clarendon Division's most wanted list during a series of operations in the parish. One of the men, identified as Siobhan Hall, otherwise called Munga, a 22-year-old resident of Evans Avenue, Effortville, was wanted for the murder of 2 teenagers earlier in the year. According to the police, Hall was recently charged with the murders of 18-year-old Shavor Henry of Duran Avenue and 18-year-old Nadia Ferguson of Top Hill, both in Effortville, Clarendon. Hall has also been charged with shooting with intent, illegal possession of a firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition relative to the incident. Reports from the Clarendon Police are that on March 4, 2019, about 11 a.m., Henry, Ferguson, and another man were allegedly sitting in a yard when they were approached by Hall, who opened gunfire, hitting them several times. They were taken to the hospital where they were pronounced dead. The 3rd man escaped unharmed. Hall, who is also facing charges under the Criminal Justice Act, has also been charged by the St. Elizabeth Police for robbery with aggravation. The other man on the most wanted list, Maliki White, otherwise called Haga, a 44-year-old shop owner of Racecourse Clarendon. Police said White was arrested and charged by detectives in relation to a case of rape committed in his community in 2018. Hunt on for man who reportedly killed woman following dispute in Ferry. A man is on the run after reportedly fatally shooting a woman following a dispute between them on Thursday in the community of Ferry on the border between St. Andrew and St. Catherine. The deceased woman has been identified as 23-year-old Jodian Campbell of Ferry. According to reports, sometime after 5 p.m., Campbell and a man got engaged in a confrontation in the community. It's reported that persons in close proximity to the dispute intervened, and the man subsequently left the location, but later returned with an illegal gun in his possession. He is said to have opened gunfire, hitting Campbell multiple times before escaping from the area. The police were alerted, and the wounded woman was assisted to the hospital, where she was pronounced dead. The police have since launched a manhunt for the suspect. St. James Police seized 8 firearms, arrested 19 people, including 2 children. The St. James Police are reporting that since the beginning of August, 19 people, 2 of whom are children, have been arrested in connection with the seizure of 8 guns and 144 assorted rounds of ammunition, while 4 men were convicted and sentenced for gun-related offenses. In the latest incident, the police say they were following several leads in a series of break-ins in the Coral Gardens police area when they conducted a search of a premises in Lilliput, and a Glock pistol with 17 9mm rounds of ammunition and 56.38 rounds of ammunition were found. 24-year-old Elroy Brown was arrested and charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition in connection with the seizure. He is scheduled to appear in the Western Regional Gun Court on Wednesday, September 4, the police said. The police did not give details surrounding the arrest of the 2 children. Meanwhile, 4 men who were charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition were convicted in the past week in the Western Regional Gun Court. Dante Thorpe, 19-year-old of Plumtree, St. James, who was charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, was fined $400,000 or 2 years imprisonment for the firearm and 3 years probation order for the ammunition. Michael Scott, otherwise called Mike, 29-year-old security guard of Flamstead District, St. James, who was charged with 2 counts of illegal possession of firearm, illegal possession of ammunition, was fined $200,000 or 18 months for each firearm and 3 years probation order for the ammunition. Cardell Spence, otherwise called Breda, 19-year-old carpenter of Cassava Walk, Albion, St. James, who was charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition, was sentenced to 3 years probation order on each count. Kirk Russell, 43-year-old of Hart Street and Retirement District, St. James, who was charged with illegal possession of firearm and robbery with aggravation, was sentenced to 18 months imprisonment at hard labor on each count. Sasco assists juveniles in state care. Recording artist Agent Sasco recently made 2 donations of $25,000 each to the Top Boy and the Top Girl at the recent We Transform Sports and Fun Day held at the Rio Cobre Juvenile Correctional Center in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. The boy is a ward at the Rio Cobre facility, while the girl is under the probation system and is studying at a major institution. We're happy with the help. It went a far way. The client's mother was excited and grateful because they needed it. It is a good initiative and we endorse it, said Marja Gay Smith, Principal Probation Officer at the Spanish Town Probation Office. She said the gesture is a motivation to the beneficiaries and other wards to be positive and to do good things, adding that many times wards have feelings of bewilderment, and when a public figure can do something like that, it builds their self-esteem. Acting Policy Director at the Ministry of National Security and Program Manager for the We Transform program, Ella Ghartey, said education is giving wards options for their personal well-being and to make positive contributions to the society, and Agent Sasco is making a huge impact in the correctional system. It is amazing what Sasco has done for these children since we engaged him in 2017 to be a mentor and ambassador for the We Transform program. He has shown much commitment and passion to make a difference in their lives, she said. Ghartey noted that the entertainers also made donations of electronic game gadgets to the Metcalfe Street Juvenile Facility and given motivational talks to the wards, which have started to make a difference. Meanwhile, Agent Sasco said he believes that the rewarding of good behavior will further reinforce and encourage excellence among these young people, and with the right support they can achieve their dreams. St. James residents urge authorities to step up fight to zap dengue. Residents of St. James whose loved ones have been affected by dengue are demanding that more effort be put into tackling the illness, even as the authorities ramp up efforts to battle the mosquito-borne virus. Megan Green, a resident of Hendon, Norwood, who lost her 9-year-old daughter to dengue fever in June, believes that not enough is being done to contain the spread of the illness, with more than 4,000 suspected and confirmed cases contracted island-wide since the start of the year. 21 deaths have also been recorded since January. My daughter went to school and took sick, and she was vomiting and had a high fever. The doctor did a blood test, and it proved that she had a dengue fever, Green said. I was sent with a referral to the Cornwall Regional Hospital and spent 5 days there with my daughter. In those days, I saw her vomiting black stuff and passing it in her feces, and she died on June 15. Green is urging the authorities to look into other methods of treating persons who have been diagnosed with dengue fever. I think they are not doing anything about it because more persons are dying from it. I would like to see if they could find any medicine aside from the paracetamol, because dengue is really here and the mosquitoes are getting worse, Green added. Beverly Clark, whose infant grandson contracted dengue earlier this week, accused the authorities of not doing enough to treat him or to deal with the Aedes aegypti mosquito which carries the virus. The clinic tested my grandson and find him to be positive with dengue, so them send the mother to CRH. All them do was wet the baby and give him fever medicine, said Clark. We not see nobody coming fog and nobody not coming in at all. The dengue outbreak is enough out here. Western Regional Health Authority Regional Director Errol Green said that the health protocols for treating dengue would be reviewed with the region's doctors next week. At a press conference this week, the Ministry of Health and Wellness said that St. James was one of the parishes most affected by dengue. Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Catherine, Westmoreland, Trelawney and St. Anne were also named as hotspots. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.